Good morning, Allegheny. I'm Silas, and this is AML. And I think we have a quick announcement and things to go over from Miss Llewellyn this year.
All right. Well, good morning, Silas. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. I know we're getting a lot of questions about the new cell phone policy. So we'll meet with student classes next week on Tuesday, but I figured today would be a great time where we have this extra long fifth period. We could go over some of the rules and why our county put those rules into place.
So what's changing with the new policy, Miss Llewellyn?
Well, from now on, students' cell phones have to be silenced and completely out of sight for the entire school day, with the exception of lunch in the cafeteria. Students can be on their phones in the cafeteria. So that means no phones in the classrooms, no phones in the hallways, no phones during those transition times.
Why is it such a strict rule?
Well, that is a great question. Research has shown that, and we've seen this here at our school, that phones can increase stress and anxiety for teenagers. Constant alerts, notifications going off all day long really make it harder to focus and raise mental pressure on our students. By putting the cell phones away, students can focus on learning, they can reduce stress and improve their overall mental health. Phones have also played a big role in bullying, harassment, drama, even the fights that we've had here in the building. Many conflicts that happen during the school day, they start or they escalate through phones and over social media throughout the day. So keeping the phones out of sight reduces those issues and just helps make our school a safer, calmer place.
All right, I guess I see that, but what happens if somebody doesn't follow that rule?
All right, well, here's how the consequences work. The policy states that the first cell phone violation, students will get a verbal warning from the teacher. The second time a student is caught with their phone out, the teacher or an administrator will make a phone call home. The third time, we are to hold the phone in the main office until the end of the school day, and we'll have to contact a parent. And at the fourth violation, we are not to give cell phones back to students. Parents will have to call, and the parent will have to come up, pick up the cell phone, and that student will no longer be allowed the privilege of carrying a phone within the building. Also, we had a lot of students come in for device pickup and they've already signed the cell phone policy, but if a student refuses to sign it or they just don't return that policy, they're not allowed to have the phone in the building at all. That's why all students should have gotten in their first period today a cell phone policy and signature page, and if you need more, they're in the main office. Try to get those in tomorrow so you can bring your phones with you tomorrow.
All right. So just some commonly asked questions that I've heard around because of this new policy. What's the deal if my parents need to reach me for an emergency?
Okay, so if it's an emergency, call the main office number and we will get a message out to students in their classes. If it's a true emergency, we're going to get you connected with your parent right away.
But what if it's not a major emergency? Let's say my parents need to text me about a ride home after practice.
Okay, so I would suggest tell your parents what your lunch shift is. Mom, Dad, Grandma, I eat lunch every day between 11:15, 11:45. That's when I'll be able to see my texts that you may have sent me. Some parents will email their student or chat with them through a messenger app, but nothing through the phone until at lunchtime.
All right, understandable. And when you said the cell phones have to be stored out of sight, does that mean I have to keep it in my locker all day?
No, you may if you'd like to keep it stored in your locker, but you may have it with you. Cell phones currently, mine is silenced and out of sight. It's in my back pocket. Some students might choose to keep it in a laptop case or something like that. And of course, teachers might have specific rules during testing, please put it in a pocket.
Okay. What about listening to music? Can I still have my AirPods or my headphones on if I keep my phone in my pocket?
So no, unfortunately, AirPods and headphones are not allowed. That has been an ongoing safety issue. We've had emergencies before where students aren't even hearing what teachers are saying to them in the hallways because of the music. So because the phone is still in use, if you're listening to music, then the answer is no. We want it silenced and out of sight, but you can enjoy music at lunchtime.
Okay. What about smartwatches, like the one you're wearing? Can I wear that?
Absolutely. We're not here to take away smartwatches. Again, a teacher might say, please put them away during a test, but as long as you're not using it as a phone, if I check the time and it's 9:35, I'm good, but obviously I can't be on it messaging, texting, taking photos, that kind of thing.
Okay. What if we're doing a fun activity like homecoming week, spirit week, dress up weeks, things like that, or color wars, or events that are in the school? Can I take pictures of me and my friends during those events?
Sure. We're most likely going to have some events throughout the school year where we're going to allow students to have their phones out so they can take photos. In the example of homecoming week, we already say, hey, all ninth graders that dressed in Western gear today and participated, please report to the cafeteria at this time for a yearbook photo. We can also add to that this year. You may also bring your phones and take photos with your friends at that time. Again, we're going to try to keep that in the cafeteria during those yearbook photos, or there might be a homecoming activity week in the gymnasium, for example, color wars. We're going to allow students to have their phones. And the PBIS events, the fun events that you earn down in the cafeteria, will allow phones at that time.
Okay. I feel like that's a lot to remember. I feel like that's just a lot on our plates all at once.
It is, but each student should have received a copy of the entire policy this morning in the first period class, and we have extra copies. We're also going to be reviewing all of that when we do class meetings. I believe that's coming up next Tuesday. Each class will be called to the theater, and we'll go over the policy very specifically so that you know how to access the phone in a safe manner here in our building. Remember, our goal isn't really to punish students or take away anyone's phones completely. It's more to teach high schoolers the responsibility, because one day you'll have a job. Many of our students already do, and they know managers say, you can't be on your phones while you're at work. So this is really no different. We just want to protect you guys and make sure everybody's safe and protect your mental health and well-being while you're here in the building.
All right, that makes sense. Thanks for taking the time to explain everything.
Sure, you're welcome. We know it's going to take a little bit, it's changed, so it's going to take a little bit adjusting, but I feel like it really will make a difference in keeping our schools safer and a calmer and healthier place to learn. Do you have any other questions for me this morning?
Actually, yes. Some of us were wondering, including myself, about the bathroom situation this year. Is there going to just be one bathroom on Main Street available, or are we going to be able to use bathrooms on different floors?
Okay, so remember the survey we did with all of our students last winter, and we asked our students questions about the bathrooms, digital hall passes, and all that stuff. Well, we've worked hard to come up with a plan to open up more bathrooms than just Main Street. So starting tomorrow, the Main Street bathrooms will be the only ones open before first period bell, before students go to first period. But then when you come on with the Pledge of Allegiance and we start our day, we have teachers that'll unlock the second floor academic bathrooms and the third floor. Unfortunately, we're going to keep first floor locked for now and bus loop locked for it, but that will open up 2 additional bathrooms, second floor and third floor this year. We're also, please try to help us out if we have to run to all those halo alerts. Every bathroom has the halo alert, so if we're finding that there's problems, we will unfortunately have to close bathrooms again. We don't want to do that. We really want everybody to be able to use the bathrooms. If the bathroom's full, please wait outside. Don't have 20 people in the bathroom all at once. Follow those limit signs on the bathroom doors.
Yeah, I do remember taking that survey. It also asked us our opinions on Smart Pass and digital hall passes. So what's going to happen with that this year?
Well, for right now, teachers are still going to use a paper sign-out sheet and the hall passes, but we have been told that they have approved the purchase of it's a different digital hall pass system called Securely, so we're just waiting for that to be set up, and when that comes, we'll offer training to the staff and the students. It's just a lot right now with Power School and the start of the school year, but hopefully we'll be able to roll that out. Students really were in favor of it by and large because they liked the ability to make their own passes and use the bathroom that they wanted to use.
Yeah, a lot of changes this year. I mean, it's very confusing switching over to Power School from Aspen. We've been used to Aspen our whole lives in school.
Yeah, that's right. Students should know, teachers and administrators, we were just trained on the system just a few short days ago, so there's plenty of things that the adults in this building are still learning. So bear with us. We've had teams of people working nonstop to ensure that this is the best school year yet. And we have a lot of fun things planned for our half days, as well as even more rewards and incentives for our students who are campers in 3D. Campers that are dependable by coming to school on time every day, dignified by showing respectful behavior, and determined to always do their best.
That's great. And are we doing the iced coffees and donuts thing again this year? I really enjoyed that.
That was one of our most favorite activities. We're really happy to have Miss Jenna Delaney as our new Peer Connections teacher this year, and she's already getting started within the next few days to work with her students on planning that first event.
Awesome. Sounds like you guys have planned a lot of great things. And thanks for answering all my questions.
Absolutely. We're really excited about all the new people, all the changes that are in place to make sure that this year is truly the best ever. I appreciate you talking with me this morning, and while we were talking, I thought of one more thing about the buses. I know last year we forgot to say at dismissal, please, if you ride a bus, go to the third floor. Buses where they dropped you off on the third floor will pick you up there. We had a couple freshmen that waited out front for a bus, and that's front of the building is parent pickup. And if you did not ride a bus to school, but you're supposed to ride one home and you're not sure what bus to get on, there is a little place on the Board of Ed website called Bus Stop Locator where you can put in your address and it tells you what bus to get on. And then at the end of the day today, we'll have some staff up front that'll have like a little bus chart, and it'll tell you, you know, if you ride bus 53, you're first in line, and so forth. So we'll make sure everybody gets on the buses this afternoon and is able to get out of here.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for taking the time. And I just want to go over what AML is for the incoming freshmen and people unfamiliar with AML. AML is where you are going to hear about all your live sports news for the school, all weather news, and anything going on within the school. Fundraisers, blood donations, things like that just going on around the school. And that's where you tune in every day. It's typically during second period, and it starts at 9:20 every single day. And it will be myself, Kinsey McDonald, and Noah Simmons doing sports, and then Cassidy Witt on weather, and the rest of our crew here in the AML room. So I just want to go over two quick announcements that I have for today. Alco won its first golf match at the Cumberland Country Club Monday, with Trey Grassi being low score winner of 39, and they will go to Lodestone tomorrow and for their next match. And then if you purchased an Allegheny yearbook last school year, please stop by room 270 to pick up your spring pages from Miss Hendershot. That's all the announcements I have, so make sure to stay in your period 5s. Let the bell dismiss you for your next lunch shift or to your next period. Have a great day.
Thank you.